Gonna talk about feelings and stuff on this one, you guys, so if you don't want to watch that, then click on something else. Also, after watching this movie, you're probably not gonna want to shop at IKEA ever again. But don't worry, there's other furniture stores, you lazy bums.
It's MASSIVETARDZ, yeah, MASSIVETARDZ. TV, games, movies, and so much more.
I was trying to think of reasons why this movie resonated so well with so many different people. Is it the fact that Tom is an everyman? That he has the idea we have of love projected on screen? We see the reflections of ourselves in him, whether male or female. This applies to specific people in a specific relationship, but it applies to everyone. Every time you watch this movie, you pick up on new hints and see signs early on that the relationship isn't what you thought it would be or how it would unfold. Is it that a few of us or all of us at one point have had that idealism that there is one person to love in this world, and that as soon as we find someone that we're even slightly compatible with, we think that's it, that they're the one? Young love is usually blind and usually guided by ideas and not by logic. We tend to let our hearts take control sometimes instead of our brains. I mean, it just happens. Of course, we want everything to conclude in a happy ending, the way that the fairy tales end. It's the stuff we grew up with. Is that really how the world works though? Is that an idea that we've come up with ourselves? No. Tom has had a fascination with movies and music, and like us, pop culture that feeds our hearts, giving us a sugar-coated, sweet-toothed, chocolate-covered version of what love is. Tom was just focused on the way it looked on paper, falling in love with a girl practically at first sight, thinking that she is everything to him, being perfect in his eyes, when we all have flaws. All things are revealed through time, which is a major factor of this flick. Take away the surface level and we're left with the true variables of the equation. Two people. I'm not trying to get all Dr. Phil here, I'm just trying to express my own thoughts. Maybe even a little reminder that I might look back on in the future, when the time calls for it. Okay, so the way this movie is laid out before us is through a series of time cards. Out of order, but telling us what day it is between the relationship of Tom and Summer. In the beginning, it's a bit jarring in the fact that the days go from extremely happy to very dour. It's clear which times were good and which times weren't so good. The first half of the movie shows us after the relationship is over, and also the first few months. Days get closer and closer until we get to the climax of the movie where Summer essentially hits her breaking point. Tom thought that there was love and nothing more than that. I think as we progress into the relationship and into the movie, we break down walls that used to be oh so nice to look at. We shift into a gray area, almost literally looking at the time cards. Tom almost doesn't know what love is anymore. The lines become blurred as he accepts the viewpoint of Summer for a while. If any fan of the movie knows, this is not a love story. Summer doesn't want to be in a committed relationship, and Tom goes with it for a while. Sometimes their ideas line up and sometimes it doesn't. I think it's true about a lot of relationships, that it can be something or that it will be something. We end up fooling ourselves. We have needs and desires, and we try to find people that we want to fill those desires and those things. In a lot of ways, Tom thought that Summer was that for him. I do think a lot of the story is portrayed through his point of view, which is why we empathize with his character so much. On initial viewing, you view Summer almost as the antagonist, or at least you wouldn't like her by the end of the movie, or her voice was annoying or something. But it's not about her, it's about growth. The reality of an idea, the work and effort it is not only to please someone else, but to find yourself as a person. How that takes time. Not until day 488, Tom realizes that some things aren't meant to be. But he does change Summer too, even telling him that he was right all along, just not about them. That there is love in this world. Some people just view it differently. We'll find someone we're sure is the one, and it won't be. It'll hurt.
What? Tom, don't go. You're still my best friend.
It'll take a few tries until we find the right one. All life is a string of coincidences after all. Even though it seems like the end of the world when things don't pan out the way we planned, take a step back and look back in retrospect. We might find out things about ourselves that we didn't think we would. Don't stay in that state of pain. There will always be bad days. Things won't always be happy. But if you find one thing as a viewer, and I know that Tom found as a character and as a person, is that seasons change. For the better.
My name's Tom.
Nice to meet you. I'm Autumn.